Hi and welcome back. Okie dokie. Going to install the mini sump, which I've already done. It wasn't much to film in that process, and then get on to the oil pump. It is, yeah, the twin pump for the front of the engine block there, this little guy here. Now just prior to moving on to the oil pump, the studs that were in my kit were about that long, and when I placed the bottom of the sump on, there was little or no thread left on it. I wound them out a little bit, and I wasn't happy with me winding them out, so I went and bought some longer 6mm stainless steel ones. I wasn't going to get mild steel or anything. I thought, well, I might as well get stainless, and just sort of made them around about that point. They're about 10mm longer, 3/8 of an inch longer, to give me really decent thread. When I put them on originally, they weren't even reaching the Nylex washer, so it was totally relying on the torquing of the nut. So I've pulled them all out, I've put them on, but that's not the only problem I've got. I'm going to bring the camera down here and show you what the other issue I've got with it, and I don't know what, I went back through Gavin's videos, I don't know what he's done about it. I'm going to email Sonex on Monday, today being Sunday, so I'll do it tonight. Yeah, they'll get it on their day behind me. So let me just bring the camera down here and we'll go through it. So hopefully you can see that this one threaded rod down here, I couldn't take it off because it had the little oil pickup line that's in the back of that, on the bottom of the sump here. I'm not sure what you would call that. It's just like a little copper device that all this fits into, and it had a Nylox nut on the back of it. So the only way to lengthen that would be to pull the two casings a half again, and I wasn't about to do that. So I've only got sort of 2, 4, 5 of the 6 on there. I probably will be able to get one of the nuts on there just started without the washer, so I might use some blue Loctite, some threaded Loctite, with the blue being the mild blue, so I can get it off. I'm going to email Sonex anyway to see if they think that the 5 will be enough to hold this on. I hope so. I hope it doesn't leak at that point. But I will put as I said, I will put a Nylex nut on it. It's only just catching, so it's probably something that's a trap. If I'd known about it at the time, I would have taken that off and put a longer one on, or something along those lines anyway. But I can't see any other way of fixing the problem. Again, just to reiterate, I hope the 5 will be enough to hold this down if anyone's got comments. But I'm just going to go ahead and put some Loctite blue on that nut, so it can come off at a later stage. At least it'll hold it on there. I'll still torque it up the same. So hopefully that's right. So let me get on to finishing the mini sump, and then I'll get on to the dual oil pump. Come back to you shortly. Okay, I've got those 2 components done, the oil sump and the pump, the twin oil pump I think it's called. So it's all torqued up to 14 pound-feet, and that was an inch-pound one. Can't remember what that was at the moment, but just on that one there, I put the blue Loctite on. I managed to get about, don't quote me, at least 2 and a bit turns I think I got, so I'm sort of happy with that. I'll still email Sonex anyway to say that, to let them know. But you can see there's a lot more thread on those nuts now than what there was before. It was hardly even catching the nylon washer bit. So I'm happy with that. I think I've got to lay this engine down now and start to do some get ready for the flywheel torquing by the looks of things. So it may be a 2-person job. So let me get this leveled off, and we'll come back to you shortly. Yeah, welcome back. I'm just going to quickly do the intake elbows either side that go on. I've just temporarily dry fitted them. There is a little bit of interference with the silicon rubber that goes onto here in getting the spark plug out here, so probably when I go to check the plugs at a later stage, I'll have to take that silicon rubber off, but I'll wait till I get the other part of the exhaust, the intake exhaust on there anyway. So let me just go ahead and do these now, and then we'll have a look what it looks like in a few moments. Okay, I've just put the dipstick in, the oil filler cap in, and now we've got the block off plate for the, I think they call that a fuel pump block off plate. So that goes on there. Then we've got a breather plate to go onto there, and then we've got that little plate to go down there, and that one has a oil temperature sender in it, which the hole's already tapped in, and that's all that stuff there. I'll go ahead and put that on now and come back to you shortly. Okay, that's all done. Oil temperature sender is in, the dipstick, the breather, the block off plate for, I think they call it a block off plate for a fuel line, but anyway, and the oil fill cap is all done. The two, what do you call those? I can't remember now, but they're on, those things. And now it's up to the flywheel, I guess, and the horrible job of trying to torque this up. I was thinking of strapping the two heads down through the bench, but anyway, we'll get it all set up ready to go and see what it looks like. Come back to you shortly. Okay, I've got the engine block all strapped down, ready to do this flywheel. Hopefully it won't go anywhere and I don't need an extra pair of hands. So let's get stuck into that and see how we go. Hi, and welcome back. Okay, we're getting to the pointy end of the engine build prior to it going on to the actual aeroplane itself, and this part of the build we're now going to put on the flywheel. Just a couple of things to do. We've got the little shim kit that we did for end play of the crank a couple of videos back. You might remember I've got those all sealed ready to go on, so they've got to go on now, and the oil seal or the case oil seal, just with some RTV, and put that inside there, then throw on the flywheel. And these flywheels are relatively heavy. Our little wavy washer and the nut and our torquing up, I've forgotten what it is, it's 225 foot-pounds or something like that. It's quite a lot, so hence me having it strapped to the bench, and hopefully it doesn't move because I'll be attempting this on my own. After that, we've got all the magnetrons to go on the back, which will fit onto the actual engine mounting case, I suppose you'll call it that. And that's it, it's ready to now mount onto the aeroplane. So with a bit of luck, in the next few days, I will have this engine mounted to the Sonex. So let's see how we go with our few little items here, with some RTV, some red silicon, and gloves of course, and yeah, that's it. We'll get on to that. Okay, welcome back. Okay, I've done that to 227 foot-pounds, and just to give you an indication of the size of the torque wrench needed, that's my tiny one, and that's the big one that came round, and I actually had to put my full weight on that. I wasn't elevated off the ground, it was down, and it went click, and I just went one more click to see if it was the click that I heard, and it was. So that is now done. The next part of the build is, as I said, we're getting to the pointy end now where we're almost ready to mount this engine. So I'm going to go ahead now and dig out all the bits and pieces for, I think it's called the magnetron. So where the flywheel spins around and with its magnets and gives us our sparks for the spark plug. So let me dig those parts out and see how I go in the next half hour or so. Okay, the magnetrons are now mounted to the accessory plate. I can now go and mount it now to the flywheel at the back of the aircraft engine. Come back to you shortly. Okay, I got the accessory plate on. Just temporarily laid the primary ignition leads to see that I've got enough length, and I do. That's the long one that I've got marked on there, so that comes from right under there, and the other long one goes around that side. So I'll call it quits for the day, and we'll get stuck back into it again tomorrow, and hopefully we're getting ready to mount this engine in the next few days. Come back to you shortly. Okay, I've installed the trigger shaft in the back of the engine mounting plate, and now I'm going to install the alternator assembly. So I've just temporarily fitted it to this mounting plate. I've marked the tops of it with permanent marker texture, and we're going to rotate the flywheel approximately 3 or 4 times just to make sure that none of those little stators or whatever they're called are in interference with the magnets themselves. So let's just go ahead and mount that now and see what it looks like in a few moments. Okay, I've installed the stator assembly in the back of the flywheel there. I'll just give it about 3 or 4 rotations of the crank now, take it back out and see if any of the permanent marker that I've put around the assembly itself has worn, to see if I need to file anything off. So I'll just do that now and come back to you shortly. Okay, I've just taken this off, and all the texture marks do not appear to have any wear marks on them, so I'm happy with that. It actually looked like it had been pre-fitted because there was a green product on it which was already sort of ground in spots or sanded off in spots, so it wasn't fully painted green. There was some, looked like there was some wear marks on it, so maybe the later engines are coming out already pre-fitted, so there's no need to check for the gap clearance, I guess. So I have put the little 1 o'clock mark on there just as there's nowhere to put it when I put back in, because this thing really grabs when you push it in. The magnets are very strong, and you don't really want to be you can't really turn it round without forcing it with a hammer and a little punch or something, but not that I did that. But anyway, there it is. We can put this all on with Loctite now and get it squared away and finish this part of the build off. Okay, that's all done, put on. So I guess I can probably go and mount this on the Sonex. So I'll bring the engine lift around here and give it a bit of a go. Hi, and welcome back. Okay, I've been back through one of Gavin's videos, and I note that he had a similar issue to what I've got here, is that the washers that's supplied in the kit, and it's supposed to be 4 of these per engine mount, so 16 washers in total. And the issue is that you're putting through a 1/4 inch bolt, and it's just, I tried it initially, and it was just the washers were splitting apart, and even though you're also supplied with a flat washer like that to go on the back of the head, it's just not the way to go in my book. So a good friend of mine made me up some 1/4 inch stainless steel, 1/4 inch thick stainless steel washers with a 1/4 inch hole in it, same diameter as that, and they are going to work far better than what is in the kit. I would have thought that perhaps something like that would be paramount in Sonex's mind, to having it more of an exact product in lieu of something that was fairly loose or whatever it is. It's a pretty important thing, the engine mounts on these, as you can well appreciate. So let me go ahead and see if I can mount this up now, and there's the engine ready to go in its spot. Just got to raise her up and put these washers on. Talk to you shortly. Okay, welcome back. Well, there you go. Engine's on. It was a hell of a task on my own, but even though I had it on the lift over there, but I tried getting it into the top first, and then it was pulling this bit down, so I ended up putting it on the bottom first and just leaning it this way. So it's all in. On the drawing it shows the bolts heads going this way with a nut on the back, but obviously there's an engine casing here that gets in the road, so I had to reverse it. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, but it seems to be seated in there well enough. It It feels strong, but there's not much holding it on, is there? Just little 1/4 inch bolts, you know. And you look at the engine with these sort of 1/2 inch, whatever they are inside there, and we're looking at 1/4 inch just to hold a goddamn engine on. Anyway, there it is. One Sonex engine is on the aeroplane. I'll have a look now what's on my next task. Come back here shortly.